Alright, so it is a new day, but I'm still working on the 74 Corvette Stingray. Today I'm going to put it up in the air and just kind of go over what's going on underneath. The brakes are definitely locked up on this thing. I went to roll it back about 6 inches to get it centered, and it is just frozen solid. So we won't know until we get up underneath there. Alright, so I'd absolutely be lying if I said that I didn't get a little nervous every time I put a new car up on the lift. But it's as stable as it's going to get. This car it's long, but it's short at the same time, so putting the jack or the arms underneath it for the lift are a little bit weird, but she's stable, so up it goes. So I have some fun stuff to show you. Jack stands aren't completely necessary, but they make me feel a little better. Again, new car on the lift. I had a C3 Corvette as well. I did have it on the lift a couple of times, but it was some time ago. I don't really remember where I picked it up from. Plus, there's always unknowns with every car. So immediately upon lifting it up, I happen to notice that we have yet another wire nut under here. But that's not the great part. That's the great part. That is an alligator clip clipped to aluminum to ground something. Maybe the tag lights? Yeah. There's another one. Come on, you gotta see this. How about that magnificent repair on the emergency brake cable? Yep. Those are cable clamps. I'm not even sure that's actually emergency brake cable. That might have been something bought from the Home Depot. It's pretty good, pretty good. Oh, wait, but we're not done. Yep, Fram oil filter, but that's not actually what I wanted to show you. How about no lower bell housing cover? Hey look, there's a torque converter just hanging out down here. Magnificent. Lots of transmission fluid leaking. What have I gotten myself into? I was thinking about putting a new fuel cell in this thing. Well, mainly because the sending unit for the fuel gauge doesn't work anymore, and there's always a smell of gas, but looking at how rusty that tank is, yeah, we're definitely going to be putting a tank in this thing. Oh, hey, I wonder why the fuel gauge doesn't work. Huh. Well, I'm sure that I'm going to find about 1,001 or 1,002 more things wrong underneath here. Yep. For sure. What I'd like to do is I'm going to just do a once over without you, and then once I kind of determine what's going on, I'll bring you in and show you the best of the best. no idea when the last time any of the wheels were off of this car, so, but I'm sure it was also over 20 years ago. This tire's wear isn't so bad. The one on the other side is worn terribly to the inside. This has got a little bit of a taper. So she definitely needs a front end alignment. But first I need to find out what else it needs. Small joints, tie rod ends, bushings, a new Corvette. Those gas fumes are getting to me. It's giving me a headache. I found the leak in the gas tank. Apparently it was cracked some time ago, and the previous owner fixed it with JB Weld, and it probably held for a while, but it isn't holding anymore. Alright, so we got Delco calipers on here. The brake pads are thick, so they weren't done very long before it was parked, but they're also disintegrating. There's a chunk missing out of it, so they're probably delaminated. The calipers do look like they're in good shape though. I can see the pistons. The pistons still have a zinc coating on them. I'm thinking some new soft lines, possibly a new master cylinder. And clean out these spider eggs. Let's get the other front wheel off. Oh, definitely a new rotor. These rotors are so thin. I'll have to try to see if I can get you in here to see these. But they are massively thin. Well, Power Stop, I'm coming to you. Knowing the car needs tires, I've been tire shopping. Because I can't do a 1,600 mile trip on these tires. One, they're just old. But two, the more I look at them, the more I can see that they're completely worn out. Not bad out here, but again, I'll show you. What's really messed up though is 15-inch tires are more costly than 17s and 18s. And a lot less choices. There's a local tire shop that I know the owner of, and he's a good guy. Straight up and very honest. So I'm gonna go see him and see what he can do for me. So as you can see, there's still quite a bit of tread here, and then we go to racing slicks. The date code on that tire, if I'm reading that right, I believe that says 1100. And if I remember Dunlop to be the same as everybody else, that would be November 2000. But I'll correct myself if I find out different. Same story on this side, plenty of pad. Lots of surface rust because they weren't treated, they weren't painted or anything before they were put in. Pads are definitely delaminating. This rotor is not as thin as the other side, but these rotors definitely should have been replaced. Let me take you around to the other side and show you the other one. That's about the best I can focus on it, but you can see that it is definitely very thin walled and just deteriorating. And honestly, for a car like this, there's really no excuse for that because all the parts for these cars are so affordable. Unless it's something super specialty, you know what I'm saying, but I mean, GM used the same parts on so many different cars. Things like the master cylinders and power steering pumps and all that. They're so common, they're so super cheap. So Yeah, we definitely got to do something. We got lockup on the back wheels for sure, but might as well get those two off as well. So I do want to say that I am not a Corvette expert, not by any means. Again, I did own a C3, so I've had a little bit of experience with a couple different Corvettes. A friend of mine had a 77 that I used to work on as well. But I may say things through the video that are incorrect, and not that I feel I need to say this, but if I'm wrong on something, absolutely positively, let me know in the comments. I love to learn. I've been meaning to research it, and maybe somebody can tell me, are these factory for a 74? I didn't think these came until later. Thought maybe these were in the 80s, but again, could be wrong. I thought that 74s had the rally wheels. These are not nearly as worn. It's said that they're 23 years old, but I'm not just going to throw them away. No, I'm going to burn them off of here. But rolling that across the floor, it's got a flat spot in it. This car sat stationary for 19 years. It sat in that same spot in the garage where we pulled it out of for 19 years. Tires are definitely flat spotted. Got brake line flopping around in here. It definitely looks like it needs a new ground cable to the battery. The emergency brake cable is absolutely a joke. Shock's got a big dent in it. Gonna be putting new shocks on here. Gotta have a comfortable ride for 1,600 miles. Plus I want it to be as nice as it can be for whoever ends up with this car in the future. Fortunately, it feels like all the bearings are tight, but that could just be because the brake is locked. I'm going to end up opening the whole entire brake system. We're going to flush all the fluid out of it. Probably replace the calipers, even though they look relatively new. I might just sandblast them and rebuild them. All right, well, let's get that last tire off. That caliper was not replaced. It is very rusty. The top line and the bottom, at least that line's attached, but that brake line, that emergency brake line is absolutely a joke. It's no wonder when I grabbed it, it didn't work. It still has the factory limited slip marker on the rear end. That's amazing, those don't usually make it. Yeah, that one's completely seized. So I'm going to have to release all the brakes on this to be able to even roll the car. I guess I'll concentrate on the brakes. I was going to take it out and wash it, but I think I'm going to wait until much later for that. I'm going to get it mechanically okay first. Yeah, just okay. I don't want to pour a ton of money into this car. It does need to make the 1,600 miles safely. It needs to be a good platform for somebody in the future. That somebody isn't going to be me. I took on this car as a project of good timing, but it is definitely not something for me in the long run. I never drove mine. It only seats 2 and we're a family of 4. My wife hates it because she can't see over the dashboard. So, super fun car, and I look forward to taking it to Hot Rod Power Tour. But in the long run, I don't think she's the car for me. I know that the Corvette videos have not been the same format of videos that I've made previously. And I promise you, there is still tons of Fummins content coming, as well as a couple other really cool projects that I have lined up. But right now, this Corvette has to take priority because we are less than 40 days away from Hot Rod Power Tour. And if you're going to be there, I would love for you to find me and let me know that you watch the content, because that means the world to me. You know what else means the world to me? You hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. So many of you watch the videos but aren't subscribed, and it just blows my mind. So take 2 seconds and click that button, because it costs you nothing, and it truly does warm the cockles of my heart. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Check out the next video, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, because you won't want to miss it. There is a ton of stuff that's been done to this that will be coming in the next video. So for now, I just want to say thanks for watching.